It's Duckery Friday. Unwine with Teddy is alive. Hey, all right, and good morning. It's Friday, December 29th, and welcome to the Bear Cave. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Messy Mocha. Shout out to all my other bears I call the Grizzlies. And you know what? On my way back from coffee, as I was walking in, I said, okay, they've been teasing us, golden girls, golden Grizzlies. It's okay to be golden. 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 All right. So Kevin Hart, Miesha Shakes, or some would say Miesha Shakes, TashaK, The Complaint Part 2, Analyze This, Real Commentary. And if you missed it, on last night, I've done a few things. One, I've scheduled a premiere of just the part 1 of the complaint. So I have that scheduled. I believe it's already up there for, let's see, I think it's at 4:00. All right. And then what I've been playing this morning is sort of where we started off, intro, a little bitty clip from TashaKLive.com in her sit down interview with Miesha Shakes, the assistant of Kevin Hart, I will say, former. All right. So we have a little bit of something for everyone. Please hit the like on your way in. Subscribe to this channel. Become a member. And I see already, I had it up there. It was Latoya Woods. Let's put it up. Just became a new member. So welcome to the Bear Cave as a Grizzly.
No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told ya I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told ya I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
Welcome, newest member, Latoya Woods. Welcome. All right. So we're going to get right into it just after I shout out a few others who have joined me. Grab your cup. Let's sip this mocha up. Wow. I've been busy this morning, and happy Duckery Friday. Quack, quack. All right, let me come out. And it was another late night. It was after midnight. Junebug, I'm just going to jump right in, says good morning. I was replaying last night live. Glad that you decided to do that. I also just put up a short. Yes, I did. And you can take a look at that. A number of people saw the short this morning. Yeah, it really took off right away. Good morning to LaDonna Brooks. Good morning, she says. Gorgeous joy. Good morning. Or who says it? Working hard so I can get off early on a Friday, a perfect weekend, because it is what? New Year's Eve weekend. So please be careful out there. I know some of you are making big plans to party and be with your friends and celebrate um, 2023, going out and ringing in a new year on Sunday night. So expect for us to be here somewhere, yeah, ringing in the bells, playing some music, doing something, at least for the mob. And who else? It's Vicky Black. Good morning, Judy Coles. Let's see. Baby Juju. Swirl Gang says, top of the top, like top of the morning, living my life like it's golden. Yeah, that's right. Jill Scott said it. Like it's golden. They better hope they live to be our age. That's true. Because nothing is promised. Just because you're in your 30s does not necessarily mean you are going to make it to your 60s. No one knows. No one. Do we? All right. Good morning, Gia Papaya. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fun. But we are definitely going to be diving more into this complaint. And it is a very important one with allegations that go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see. Who else? And rather than me giving you, a review, maybe I'll just hit just for a moment a highlight. I know you were already a member, but you had to renew your membership. So for us, that's great. Thank you for renewing, for wanting to stay with the mob. Yeah. Hoot hoot, Latoya Woods. You could have, after it expired or whatever happened, you could have said, well, I don't want to be a member anymore. And now is the time to become a member. Because just like I put that clip up from TashaK.com, her interview, when she sat down, I may be putting up some other things on members only live. And yay, Teddy, Bear hasn't played this song in a while. All right. I thought I'd come on with a coffee, this morning. Almost put on the car, but okay. Enough of me. All right. Good morning. Midwest Mama says, good morning, Teddy and Mom. Welcome back. Grab your coffee cup, your mug. Good morning. It is to Mimi Twin. Says, good morning, Teddy and Mom, listening while working. To all in the Bear Cave on this Friday. And Nightbot is here. And yes, I have not forgotten about Run Tell That Too, because there is some YouTube, I will call it, drama that hasn't to do with TashaK that's going on. And so we're going to talk about that on Run Tell That Too. Yeah, that's right. That's where we're going to put that. Good morning, Zenobia. Good morning to you. Let's see. Who is back? You don't want to go out on New Year's Eve. Well, you can celebrate at home. Will we be having some duckery? Some duckery today. What is that? Isn't there a glaze that you put over a duck? I've never had duck. Never had duck. But isn't there you can get it, I've heard, especially maybe even in an authentic Chinese restaurant or Asian, I don't know, but it's on the menu. You can get, isn't it orange duck? No, really. Let me, okay, we're gonna get to everything, but now that you brought that up, I have to see. I have to find out. Yes, you can get duck à l'orange. Uh, Duck. It's a classic French duck. So I guess the French. Yes. And it's made with white wine, vinegar, and fresh citrus. Create the layers and a tangy flavor in this bright duck à l'orange, crispy roast duck, and orange sauce recipe. So, is that what you want? You want a little crispy roast duck sauce. I know it's Friday, right? It's Friday. Let's see if I can find. Uh, okay, so you want a little bit of a little bit of duck. Let's see. I haven't played that our little intro. For Duckery Friday. It's been a moment. It's been a moment. Let me see. Now we've got to. Do I have to play that song too? Let's see. Let's take this down. And maybe while I am finding it, Vicky Black said, I don't like duck. I've never tried it. I'll have my black eyed peas and ham hocks, chicken, mac and cheese, and a yellow cake with chocolate frosting. Oh, that's right. New Year's. New Year's. Okay. So let's see. And we didn't say happy birthday. I think it was to Tigerlicious. Happy birthday. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't right in the moment, then I'll come back and we'll get into. Well, I don't have to play the music, do I? I don't have to play the music to, you know, throw up. That's Daffy, our dancing duck for Fridays. Yeah, and we usually would throw that up. A Cluck Trent reporter. Did you see that? Cluck Trent reporter. And of course, our ducks, there they are. They're ready to dance. Okay. So I guess a little duckery would be if I look at the YouTube kind of drama. Um, so I heard that D4D has been up to her same tricks. This is what I heard. And levied another false strike in the name of that, that same email. And this time, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't watched all of it, it was on or against a not. But here's the deal. Here's the thing I'm going to say about that. Danat was questioning whether or not it was, I think, from her or from the moderator. That was from, I can put money on it. That would have come from D for D. Okay. She struck your channel because she didn't like the picture of her moderator, Duquez, that's what I call her, being on display. Although the same moderator and those who watch and, laugh, they laughed at his image. Now, just imagine, listen up, Donat. Just imagine, hint, hint, if Donat were to strike Danielle's channels because he was claiming copyright on his photograph. If that were the case, she would have received multiple strikes by now. So let me get back to what I mean by, so here's the deal. This is her new tactic. She calls it artwork. She strikes and says you're displaying art. So now anytime someone puts up a picture like I did of Lenore Millen, she decides, I'm going to intervene. I am now the authorized representative. Yes, she's the authorized representative for everyone whom she wants to be, who's an Avenger. Yeah, she's just been, she is the ultimate. But I am not going to crowd out my topic this morning, talking about D for D. Kevin Hart, Miesha Shakes, TashaK. Let me roll it right back to that. After I say this, finally, she's running out of, kind of ways to try to bring other people's channels down, to shut channels down. And by doing this, it delays. You can fight it. You'll win. Get the strike removed if it indeed was a strike. I don't know, but this is what I've heard. So allegedly, because she doesn't own copyright to Duquesne's picture. It's not copyright. Has Duquesne filed a copyright on that photograph? If that's her. And so to finish up with, I think it would just be best, and I know it is for me, that from now on, if I want to show pictures that I think she's going to become this fake authorized representative of, I'm going to either make so many changes to the picture, transformative. Don't blame me if your picture color goes from bright to dark. Bright to dark. Bright to dark is what I will be doing or modifying all of these pictures so that it will be obvious that it's been transformed. Yeah, because she has your picture up, she has my picture up, in compromising positions. And yeah, that's the Duckery Friday. Was that duckery enough? Midwest Mama, was that duckery enough for 25 minutes, 26? And don't worry, once we get into the complaint, for those who want to just get on with it, we will just get on with it. And if this first part you don't enjoy, especially on a Friday, I guess, I can and will be making clips of just what I'm covering for the complaint, if that will make it, much easier to you. No, Kia Papaya, I guess I should read some of the feedback on what I just said. Bright to dark sounds like a disco pick. Oh, really? I just, Midwest Quack, that's it. Yeah. Because there are various intensities of light. So we can go from very light to natural light to very dark. So don't be surprised if you will try to find yourself beneath that dark picture. It's there. So please don't say, oh, now it's become this. No, you should not have started with your shenanigans with the pictures. And oh, by the way, here's another tip to content creators who dare put up any of those photos. I guess you could put it up on, if you have a website, put it up on a community wall. I don't think you can strike people's pictures with YouTube on a community wall. So make some changes to it, put your banner over it, do what you need to do. Also, I thought of a character and I can't find its picture. And maybe I can't think of the name. I will describe this character. And it would suit the shape, okay? The shape of Duquesne's picture. So far, I haven't said anything critical. I said it will fit the shape. So think of a character. I don't know if you saw her picture. It's a cartoon character, and I think it was on a book, and it's a character that's really tall. Okay. And it seems like he was wearing black and white or something, and his eyes, around his eyes, kind of looked, just a little, I'll just say, not as bright. Not as bright. Can we say that? Not as lively, not as bright, a little more dull. But I can't think of the name of this character. I can't think of the name of the character. So if you could think about it, please email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. A tall character. Think of an upside down A. An upside down A. Okay. Yes. And if you imagine an upside down A, you will no doubt, based on what Donat showed, his commentary was much more colorful. Then that would be Duquesne. Oh my God, Teddy the Shade. Oh, yeah, I was ready to go into the complaint part too, but you had to ask. And since I didn't find the music right on time, I just thought of something that's recent. Mm. Now, by the way, Duquesne, I came across, you know, a little video where you talked about me. Ooh, yes. Mm, 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 mm. A whole video, no doubt, when my channel went down, you know, and she had the gall to say that we used material from CNN, no doubt, and that the copyright was, it wasn't false, when indeed it was you know, your leader who levied that. And it was you, Duquesne, behind the scenes, giving her a high five. Okay, enough said. Was that enough? Was that enough? That's what it's going to be. The war. Wow. Kevin Hart, Miesha Shakes, TashaK. I think it's going to be a battle. I do. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get on with it, shall we? Now let's set this up here. Let's set this up. You never know what you're going to get over on Unwine with Teddy. Mm-hmm. You never know. Let's see. Where is it? Here she is. So we left off last night at the fourth cause of action. Fourth cause of action. And let me just remind you, take you all the way back to the top. Let's see, that leaves me at 46. Let's fair use commentary. I'll come right back to this so that you can see all these causes and the case once more. These 5 complaints. We have, once again, the plaintiff is Kevin Hart, an individual, K. Hart Enterprises Incorporated, a California corporation, versus Miesha Shakes, an individual, Latasha Transrina Kebe, an individual, Keve Studios, LLC, a Georgia limited liability company, and DOES 1. I think that's right now unnamed, 1 through 20, all inclusive. The complaint, the case number 23STCV31516. Complaint 4, civil extortion 1. Breach of contract 2. Intentional interference with contractual relations 3. Invasion of privacy, public disclosure of private facts, and finally, defamation would round out the 5 complaints. Okay, so we're going to go right back. And get into this 4th cause, invasion of privacy, public disclosure of private facts. This one hails against all defendants, all defendants in this case. Before I start reading, I'm just going to quickly check the chat. If there's anything like burning or whatever question that I missed while playing music, and maybe at the next break, I'll take a look at it. Okay. So let's get on with this. I keep saying that. Turn this music down. Here we go. All right. So when it comes to the matter of the 4th cause of action, 46, plaintiffs hereby incorporate by reference paragraphs 1 through 45 inclusive as if fully set forth herein. 47, in the interview, defendants disclose purported private facts regarding Hart, his family members, Heartbeat employees, and or personnel at other Hart-affiliated companies. The interview was published on defendant Kebe's website, TashaKLive.com, and was thereby disclosed publicly. 48. Some of the matters Shakes purported to disclose suggested private facts, including, but not limited to, statements regarding personal relationships affecting the employment status of personnel at Hart-affiliated companies and interactions among Hart and his family members. "49. The publication of such facts would be offensive and objectionable to the reasonable person." So remember what I said last night about Miesha Shakes and how they define what she might be privy to. All this personal information, not only employees, not only people in this company, organization, but private facts that would include family members, friends, any such persons. 50. The purported private facts published during the interview are not of legitimate public concern. That's interesting the way the lawyer wrote that. Not of legitimate public concern. Now I'm wondering, would that be subjective? Isn't that subjective as a statement? Maybe not in whoever wrote this opinion, but he called it, or she called it, legitimate. Okay, so he qualified it. 51. Defendants' actions in publishing private facts regarding plaintiffs were done with oppression, fraud, and malice, and with the intention of depriving plaintiffs of their personal life, liberty, property, and legal rights, and otherwise causing injury. And such actions were despicable conduct that subjected plaintiffs to unjust hardship in conscious disregard of plaintiffs' rights, such that plaintiffs are entitled to recover punitive and exemplary damages in addition to all the actual and statutory damages to which plaintiffs are entitled. This in order to set an example and deter such conduct. That was the fourth cause of action: invasion of privacy. Private facts were disclosed, and that's all defendants. Now, I dare to say something, and I am going to kind of tip lightly around this. I'm going to ask a question that I think I know the answer to. Can another person be added to the complaint after? I think I know the answer, but after, and then include them as part of this 1 through 45, or, make an addendum, in other words, to the original complaint. If there is an attorney out there who can answer that, I imagine that they can. I imagine that it can be done. So, here's where I'm going to tip lightly. I'm talking about this case. It's already in the public domain. It's been put out there, and I'm giving commentary, my reactionary response to what was shown on the 22nd, her interview. So I'm just giving commentary. That's why I need to say fair use commentary. Everything that I say in this video will be backed up by either a receipt from comments that were made during the interview giving my reaction to the interview. And yeah, fair use. It's out there. Kevin Hart is talking about this lawsuit now. Um, TashaK, many bloggers are now talking about the lawsuit. So I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has either seen the video and or are going to give commentary on it. I needed to say that. I needed to say that because I thought about it on this morning. Mhm. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Put your comments in the chat and I'm going to continue going through this, all right? 48. I think this is, I hadn't read it. If I did, I'm rereading it. Some of the matter Shakes purported to disclose suggested private facts, including but not limited to statements regarding personal relationships affecting the employment status of personnel at Hart affiliated companies and interactions among Hart and his family members. The publication of such facts would be offensive and objectionable to the reasonable person. The purported private facts published during the interview are not of legitimate public concern. 51. The defendants acting in publishing private facts regarding plaintiffs were done with oppression, fraud, and malice with the intention of depriving plaintiffs of their personal liberty, property, and legal rights, and otherwise causing injury, and such actions were despicable conduct that subjected plaintiffs to unjust hardship in conscious disregard of plaintiffs' rights, such that plaintiffs are entitled to recover punitive and exemplary damages in addition to all actual and statutory damages to which plaintiffs are entitled in order to set an example and deter such conduct. Okay, I wanted to just go back there because I'd given a little commentary on that. So now we pick up on the fifth cause of action. Defamation against defendant Shakes. So this is against defendant Shakes. Plaintiffs, 52, plaintiffs hereby incorporate by reference paragraphs 1 through 51 inclusive, as if fully set forth herein. 53, during the interview, Shakes made a number of statements regarding Plaintiff Hart. Those statements were published on Keve's website, TashaKLive.com. Shakes made statements during the interview that were false, including that Hart recorded a video of a sexual encounter and that he faced criminal charges regarding that supposed incident. That's 54. That's a very important item there, 54, that she made these statements. Well, she did make statements during her interview. And she did hand TashaK, or what she did, she stood up and she kind of walked over to TashaK and showed her pictures, and we'll just say images or something on her telephone, conversations on her telephone. I'll just have to say that, okay? She did talk about she did talk about a video. 55. Such statements were defamatory and were not privileged. 56. Such statements had a natural tendency to injure Hart. 57. Shakes' action in publishing defamatory statements regarding Hart were done with oppression, fraud, and malice, with the intention of depriving Hart of his personal liberty, property, or legal rights, and otherwise causing injury, and such actions were despicable conduct that subjected Hart to unjust hardship and conscious disregard of his rights, such that Hart is entitled to recover punitive and exemplary damages in addition to all actual and statutory damages to which plaintiffs are entitled, in order to set an example and deter such conduct. Now, if you didn't get a chance to see the short that I played or released this morning, let me see if I can find it real quick. And really, as I thought about it, this could be a theme. Wait a minute. Or could this be a theme? Okay, I'm going to bring it over so we can all see it. And now I'm going to play it if I can open up the mic. Tell me if you think that this can be her thing. I called this TashaKLive.com, the interview. Kevin Hart's assistant, Miesha Shakes, speak out. Speak out. Okay. Okay, I've unmuted YouTube, so let's see. Why isn't this one playing? Hang on. I want to get it again. Sorry for the delay.
Porter, you pretty much co-signed and was like, "Yep, that's true. Yep, that's true." What made you reach out?
Kevin Hart.
Porter,
Kevin
you
Hart.
pretty
I
much
felt like
co-signed and
everything
was
that
like,
time
"Yep,
for
that's true.
Hollywood
Yep, that's
industry,
true."
especially because
What made you reach out? Yep,
Porter,
that's true.
I felt like
What made you?
You know what? Because I have several pages open, let's just see if I can just play it in the background. Let me fix that and just continue reading. I will fix that. So that you can hear what she had to say. Okay. Not there goes her hourly $30 savings. Zenobia says, is this lawsuit filed to take the attention away from what the assistant shared? Let me turn this down again. You know, I can't say. I can't say. What do you think? You want to know, is this lawsuit filed to take the attention away from what the assistant shared? I would think like this. If the lawsuit or if this case goes to trial, wouldn't all of that information come out? In the during the trial? It's just my thought. Okay, let's see here. Let me make sure I've muted everybody. I'm going to try that again.
It's time for women to speak up. We've been that's true. Yep, that's true. For a long time. What made you reach out?
Nico Hart.
I felt like.
Let's close a couple of these. Try it again.
Yeah, that's true. For you. What made you reach out?
I needed to reach out because
I felt like
I just feel like with
it is
everything
time
that's
for
been
Hollywood.
coming out
That's
of the
true.
story, especially
What made you reach out?
I needed to reach out.
Okay, so I must have multiple. Let's see. Close that. I'll just try to open it up one more time.
What made you reach out?
I felt like
Time to speak out.
It is a time for
I'll
Hollywood
just try
to
to
hear
open
the
it up
story,
one more
especially
time.
because a lot of people are locked in non-disclosures and they're not able to talk and protect themselves.
Nico Hart.
But you have to protect the person.
Everything that I've reported on, you pretty much co-signed.
Haven't figured out how I can get rid of that echo. It could be it's not coming from Instagram because that's closed off. All right, let me continue to read. You can check out the short. But Miesha gives her explanation of why she is talking about it now. She says that a lot of women, or just people in general, what's gone on in Hollywood, it's time for it to be told. And she's speaking up. Well, actually, speaking out on this subject. So that's how she sees it. That the employees who sign NDAs, where is their protection? This is my words, my interpretation. Where are their protections, and shouldn't more be done in that regard? Okay. 57. Shakes' action in publishing defamatory statements regarding Hart were done with oppression, fraud, and malice. I think I've read this one, okay? The next one is called I wonder, did they spell that incorrectly? Hang on. I'm looking at that word. It looks like it should be something else. Let me read what's below it and to see if it makes sense to me. Talking about money. It says, therefore, plaintiffs pray. Okay, I guess that is a prayer. Okay, for judgment against defendants as follows. As to the first cause of action, extortion. 1. For general damages according to proof in excess of the jurisdictional minimum for this court. 2, for compensatory damages according to proof. And 3, for punitive damages as allowed by law. As to the second cause of action, breach of contract, 1, for compensatory damages according to proof, but in an amount not less than $90,000. And 2, for attorney's fees and cost of suit herein. As to the third cause of action, intentional interference with contractual relations, their prayer. 1, for compensatory damages according to proof, but in an amount not less than $90,000. For punitive damages as allowed by law. Recall where the $90,000, what makes that up? 3 years times 30,000 should equal or equals 90,000. That was an amount also given to Miesha, or I'll just say Shakes, when this NDA was signed as an agreement per year. Okay. As set forth, cause of action, as to the fourth, invasion of privacy. 1, for compensatory damages according to proof in excess of jurisdictional minimal for this court, and 2, for punitive damages as allowed by law. As to the fifth cause of action, defamation. 1, for compensatory damages according to proof in excess of jurisdictional minimum for this court, and 2, for punitive damages as allowed by law. On all causes of action, 1, for prejudgment interests as allowed by law. Interests. 2, for cost of suit herein incurred. And 3, for such other and further relief as the court may deem proper. That was dated December 26. And you can see this legal firm is Resch, Holster, and Berger. And Stacy Knox, attorneys for the plaintiff, Kevin Hart and K. Hart Enterprise, signed by. So now that is the complaint. Here are some of the exhibits that are attached to the complaint. Okay. The first of which is the confidentiality agreement. I didn't read it, but I'm going to read some of it, I think. But before I do that, let me come out and get your reaction. Just take the temperature of the water, see where everyone's at right now, and maybe, just maybe, I can play from a clip. Okay. I realize that Freebird Lee says prayer is a legal term meaning that translates to formal requests for judgment by the plaintiff. It has nothing to do with religion. Back to the bushes. I saw that after if I would have just read the first sentence. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you saying so. Zenobia says Kevin's lawsuit came along faster than Cardi B's did against TashaK. That's true. It was quick. That came 4 days. She showed the interview on the 22nd of December, and you could see that was the complaint entered into or submitted to the court in Los Angeles Superior Court. That was on the 26th. So that came 4 days. So as soon as Christmas holiday, got Christmas Eve, you can't do anything. Got the weekend, you can't do anything Christmas. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it came quick, as quickly as they could, go into their office, put it together on the 22nd, which was a Friday, a week ago. Friday night it was shown. And then 23rd, 24th, 25th, it came right away. Now, keep in mind, there was a cease and desist. I read it last night. That came sometime in November when TashaK was asked, to cease and desist from showing this interview. But she hadn't shown it. So they couldn't, quite sue her. But I agree with you. I don't know if it could have come any quicker than it did. So on the 22nd there and the whole weekend, I'm sure the attorneys were up, writing and editing and rewriting and editing all weekend long. Maybe even during Christmas. Yeah. And thank you for listening in the bushes today. You'll see us this afternoon. All right. Let's take a peek at the some of the exhibits once more. And I'm sure these exhibits, specifically this confidentiality agreement, it should have been written so airtight. Let me just show you. Let's take this off for a moment. For example, for some businesses, there are a standard confidential agreement, and then it can be, modified. But let's see how this one sounds. So it says, let me just put this up. This confidentiality agreement, an agreement, is made and effective August 8th, 2017. You can see 2016 was scratched out. The effective date. By and between Heartbeat Productions, jointly and severally, owner. On the other hand, or on the one hand, and Miesha Shakes, recipient on the other hand. Okay. So, confidential agreement between the two. For other good and valuable considerations, the receipt and sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged, the parties agree as follows. 1. Confidential information. A. In the course of recipient's engagement by one or more of the entities constituting owner proposes to disclose certain of its confidential information as defined below to recipient. Now remember or recall, one of Ms. Shakes' arguments is that there were loopholes written into this agreement. So as I'm reading along, and as you're listening, see if you can pick up on any areas that you think might constitute a loophole, or just, kind of stand out. Let me look at this comment. The confidentiality went out. I thought I read it as November 2023. And I'm talking about the cease and desist between that was released. Let me look at that letter once again. I think it was Exhibit C. And I will show you the date. November the 22nd, 2023. Cease and desist. Okay. Let me look at your comment again and make sure I understand the meaning of it. Let's go back up. Okay. All right. So we clarified that. Thank you. Judy Cole says, Teddy Bear, I appreciate your patience and thorough approach to this case. I've been getting a lot of mixed messages and different narratives depending on the content creator. I'm sure we're all going to, be talking about this. Maybe some have this, others may not. Maybe some have watched the video. I've heard out of the mouth of some that they have not. Some may have already a certain bias toward TashaK. Some may not. Whatever the bias is. So remember, all of that comes along when a content creator, talks about someone. Let's see. Vicky says, yes, this is interesting. $250,000 extortion money. She signed what she wasn't supposed while keeping text pictures. Why sign and do the opposite? It didn't say that she couldn't maintain those, but rather sharing, correct? But she did maybe both. She signed what she wasn't supposed to. Okay, let's continue. All right. So, the term confidential information shall be defined to include, but not limited to, any and all of the following information and items relating to or concerning owner, its officers, directors, shareholders, clients, family, friends, associates, and contractees, including, but not limited to, affiliated entities of owner Kevin Hart or Leland Pooke, I think that's Wingington, or any other companies with which owner or Mr. Wingington is affiliated, sometimes collectively referred to as the protected parties. Matters concerning the business operations, business ideas, know-how, techniques, methodologies, and business relationships of any of the protected parties. Data, material, products, technology, computer program, specifics, manuals, business plans, software, marketing plans, financial informations, letters, memoranda, contracts, or other documents or writings pertaining in any way to any of the protected parties. Other confidential and proprietary information belonging to or licensed to the protected parties, including, but is not limited to, trade secrets, inventions, patents, and copyrighted materials. And 5, any other information disclosed or submitted orally, in writing, or by any other medium to recipient by one or more of the protected parties. So wouldn't that include pretty much every means of communication between the two, between the parties? Vicky says you have to read all the small print. Sign. Have a lawyer look it over to give advice. Messing with these Hollywood weirdos. Money make you do things of shame for change. So when you're handed one of these confidential information or agreements, and I'm sure many of you have seen them, it's a lot of legal jargon, just like, a lot of things repeated, parties, definitions. And do people read all of that? Well, they're expected to, because they sign it. So they agree, even if they didn't read it. I'm not so sure it's going to stand in court. Well, I didn't see that part. LaDonna Brooks seems to think that signing an NDA means you have to shush, do your job, and don't tell on them. Is that why they have an NDA? Why they have an NDA? Open my water. There. Got a fresh water. Z seems to think that not a lawyer yet, haven't heard where she has violated yet. Hasn't seen where she is violated. This is why I'm taking my time and going through this. I'm sure, for example, the lead attorney, who's an attorney, can quickly summarize what's important in these documents. But for someone more or less like a layperson, not an attorney, I may want to take just a little bit more time looking at these, especially when lay people sign them. So we can read them, right? See what our interpretation, that's what we're looking for, to see if you can find, if I can find anywhere in these documents, anywhere specifically in this confidentiality agreement where there exists a loophole, or appears to be one. Mimi Twin says, I remember TashaK asking another content creator, LRL, for $250,000 she fell out with towards something to, what is this? Was trying to get involved with, and he didn't give it to her. Something about the amount. Just something about that $250,000. That was mentioned last night too. I wonder, is it somewhere out there? I don't know. Is that Larry Reed? Is that what the LRL stands for? Please let me know, because I don't always know the acronyms, but I'm guessing that it's what you meant by that. Judy Cole says, Jag calls them Negroes don't ask. Is that what Jack calls the confidentiality agreement? I just got really what? Well, okay. That's interesting. Don't ask, don't tell, don't say, don't ask. Let me continue. So I asked the question, would that cover all forms of communications? What do you think? Nothing so far. Do you think? All right, B, confidential information disclosed orally may be identified as such, but failure to provide such disclosure shall not mean that the information is not confidential information. That's interesting. Confidential information disclosed orally, okay, may be identified as such, but the failure to provide such disclosure shall not mean, got it. So Kevin Hart didn't have to say, keep this confidential. Like, I don't want you to talk about this. Because right here in this particular line item, it said, and this is just now it's in my own words. If I tell you something, you've signed this agreement, but I don't tell you that it's confidential, you are supposed to know that. Because shouldn't you be able to pick up on, I'm giving you personal information? Aren't you listening for that? You're my assistant. I know we're sitting here, having drinks after work, and we're going over some details from this morning's meeting. And yeah, you should have known. Yeah, we were out to dinner. I got it, but everything that I tell you, that's why you signed it. That's why you're sitting across from me. I'm sharing with you information. I'm talking to you. I can't think of everything that I need to say is confidential. In other words, everything that I'm telling you is confidential. I don't want you talking about this to your friends, your family, your husband, your wife, any of that. You're supposed to know it. It's understood. Don't you think? Zenobia said, that's a gray area. That's the first one. That's a gray area. Let's go on to the second one. Fair use commentary. The complaint part 2, analyze this real commentary as we break this down. Best we know how. C. Nothing herein shall require the protected parties to disclose any of its confidential information to recipient. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. I mean, if you're Kevin Hart, I don't have to disclose any confidential information. No. D, confidential information may be made confidential by law or by the protected parties' policies and may be in any form, including but not limited to, listen, observations, data, written material, records, documents, drawings, photographs, computer programs, software, inventions, discoveries, improvements, developments, tools, machines, apparatus, appliances, designs, works of authorship, logos, systems, promotional ideas, customer lists, customer needs, practices, pricing information, processes, tests, concepts, formulas, methods, market information, techniques, trade secrets, product and or research related to the actual and anticipated research, developments, products, organizations, marketing, advertising, and or business or finances of the protected parties. The recipient also understands that access to all confidential information is granted on a need-to-know basis. Oh, really? I wonder, could there be a little bit of a gray area here? The recipient also understands that access to all confidential information is granted on a need to know. What if she didn't need to know certain things? But he told her. Could that be a gray area? Or could I be misunderstanding that one sentence? Or could that be my interpretation that I garnered, I being anyone who signed this confidential agreement? Let me read a comment. LaDonna Brooks says, if the assistant didn't answer the questions, there would be no interview. My question is TashaK in trouble for asking questions because the assistant is the one being sued for defamation? That's a very poignant question. I'm thinking, all right, of the 5, which one that he said TashaK is liable for? Extortion is like, that was number 1, correct? Also, I think I read from last night that she was party to this information and thus did share it. This is my brief interpretation of it. Or, I don't know. That's a very good question. Zenobia says, where does it state that his personal affairs or information are included in this business NDA? If we go back to the top, let's see, did I read all of that? The recipient, yes, I said, is granted on a need-to-know basis. And 2, recipients. Okay, before I get into obligations, this is page 12. Okay. We didn't have to go that far up. The term confidential information shall be defined to include, but not limited to, any and all of the following information and items related to, or concerning owner, its officer, directors, shareholders, clients, family, friends, associates, contractees, including but not limited to affiliated entities of owner Kevin Hart or Leland Pookie Wigington or any other companies with which owner or Mr. Wigington is affiliated, collectively referred to as protected parties. So when you ask the question, where does it state that his personal affairs or information are included in this business NDA? Would it be that? I mean, his personal affairs would be his family, correct? His personal affairs might be his friends. His personal affairs might be his associates, what he considers. That was my associate that I was, speaking about. Didn't you understand that, Miss Shakes? You didn't know that was my personal, that was my friend? So he can assign all of these labels. Anyone he comes into contact with, they might fall under, I think, if he, that's an associate. Allegedly. My interpretation, my analyze this real commentary. We're just kind of chopping it up, looking at this complaint part 2, and now we are analyzing the confidential information or the confidentiality agreement. Yes, Zenobia, so you got it now. That was my associate. You saw me allegedly cheating on my wife with. Got it. I see. I saw that was you. So a big, there's lots of room here. There's lots of room for Mr. Hart to say that was my associate. And that was personal information. And what happened in my office with my associate, allegedly, that was personal too. And although, allegedly, you ordered a more luxurious and comfortable couch, that was for the designer. And the designer is my associate. And the associate. Now, Kevin Hart is a comedian. So he should understand that there will be some comedians who might take this, because I can think of so many right now. And I'm not a comedian, not a paid one. But I can think of a lot of jokes right now because I have seen the video. So, Mr. Hart, Unwine with Teddy is, we're different. We're not Unwine with TashaK. All right. And this is Messy Mocha. And it's Duckery Friday. Vicky says, I can't wait for Cat Williams. I'm going to be right there. Can you imagine? Now my mind is, turning around. Who are enemies with Kevin Hart? What I mean by enemies, I don't mean real, which comedians, let me say it in that way. Which comedians has Kevin Hart made fun of and jokes? He may not think that this is a joke. Has Kevin Hart made fun of any comedians? Did he make fun of Will Smith? June the 15th, 2021. In People magazine. Let me see. Kevin Hart fires back at people who think he's not funny. The hate fuels me to do more. Let me show you where I'm reading from. Okay. People magazine. That's 2021. All right. So we will not have to go far. They are going to have a field day, Kevin. He said he's addressing people who thought he was not that funny. What did he say? The comedian 41, and I'm reading from People magazine, said, he says the comedian, or they start off by saying Kevin Hart is addressing those who deem him not funny. The comedian 41 posted a series of tweets on Tuesday in which he addressed his critics, writing, "I got time today." Let me blow that up so you can see it. He said, Kevin Hart, "I've got time today." Quote, "The he's not funny slander is the best this is for you," Hart tweeted. "I have 3 stand-up comedy specials that fall in the top 10 highest grossing comedy specials of all time. 2 of my specials are in the top 3 of all time." He continued, "I have been the highest grossing comedian in entertainment for years now. I have also been the highest grossing comedian in the box office with over $4 billion in earnings. No wonder he could put down so much." He was, according to Shakes, he definitely was a high stakes. Poker was his game. And allegedly, this kind of blew TashaK. I mean, when she said this number, TashaK said back. It's like, lean forward. When she asked, how much would he usually spend? When he was out gambling. Allegedly, all alleged. Okay. So, Miesha said upwards of $1 million per hand. What? You heard right. You heard right. He was addicted to gambling, allegedly. He grossed $4 billion in earnings. So imagine this. If his financiers and lawyers and, his accountants and other people who handle his money and help him make decisions on where investments should be made and all that. He can put $1 billion away, even less than that, and it will bring him play money. He can make $1 million in a day, in an hour. So yes, $1 million a day or a hand is pennies to his pockets. Pennies. Biggie says, I can't wait for them to break down this book. He have you sign now asking for his $90,000 back, and the amount has to be more than $75,000. Somebody's going to make a book. You follow by saying if he's addicted to gambling, that's his business. It's his money. How about Aniko? His wife. And how about that he didn't always want her to know? But, I'm sure she had her money. And his money was just his play money. So maybe you're right. It's his money. He earned it. Lovely One says money doesn't count if you're hurting your wife and kids. Exactly. Okay. Let me just finish up with this and then we're going to go right back. So he continued after taunting saying this $4 billion in earnings. He told people, I have also turned my comedic talent into a place of business and branding and radio and other revenue streams. And you're going to find out in the video interview where TashaK sat down with Miss Shakes that this IG model, allegedly, that this IG model, this one with beautiful, Mika said she's beautiful, stunning. Well, he has a company like, we'll just say vitamins or supplements. And he said, or allegedly, this model could be thought of as a, model for allegedly. Look how your body can. Now, guys, all right? So take things that I say. I'm telling the story. Okay. So this is for entertainment purposes only. But it's, I'll say allegedly said in the interview. I've watched it. Okay. And we'll get a chance to maybe let you hear that. But a model for supplements. And look how beautiful that body is now. Let me continue. So that's part of his branding, radio, and other revenue streams. So this is what he's turned this into: businesses, an enterprise. He says the hate, slander fuels me to do more. So the more haters out there, I'm just going to do more because I'm Kevin Hart. And he says, I got time today. You guys are what makes this business fun. So he's a comedian, so he's making jokes. He's letting them know this is why he makes his billions, because of you. Making your haters. It makes it even more fun for him. So I started off by saying, I wonder who is going to turn the table on him here. He says, yes, you guys, what make it fun, the business, because it's not about getting to the top. It's about doing your best to stay on top after you get there, Hart tweeted. I rarely talk but I felt the need to today. Stop believing these headlines and read the articles, the actual articles. You guys fall for the banana in the tailpipe trick every damn time. Not the banana in the tailpipe. I got time today, June 15th, 2021. Twitter from his iPhone. Then he also tweeted, the he's not funny slander is the best. This is for you. Yeah, he talks about, breaks it down. He tweets all these various parts that he quoted to People magazine. Okay, let's go back. Are y'all having fun? Are you enjoying? Let me look at the time. It's 1 o'clock straight up and down. With a minute just there. No, Lovely One says, I didn't even know Kevin Hart. Wow. Zenobia said, I didn't fall for your car accident cover up, though, Kevin Hart, allegedly. And there are questions about that. Things that were said. Yeah, I get it. Fell out. Vicky says, making money, then get big-headed and out of pocket, then lose all your earnings. How smart is that? How smart is that? Okay, so let's go back down. We were at 2, recipients' obligations. So, Miss Miesha Shakes, this is what you are obligated to know, understand. A, recipient expressly agrees that recipient shall not directly or indirectly, verbally or otherwise, publish, disseminate, disclose, or cause to be published, disseminate, or disclose, herein disclosure, any confidential information to any person, firm, or entity whatsoever, including but not limited to friends, relatives, co-workers, newspapers, publications, television stations, radio stations, computerized websites, publishers, and any other enterprise involved in the print of electronic media, including individuals working directly or indirectly for or on behalf of any of said entities, herein third parties. Wouldn't that cover, for example, Zenobia asked that question earlier? Would that first paragraph there, A, what the recipient needs to know here, what you understand, your obligations. So it doesn't seem, with all of that, the way it's defined, it's expressly agrees, shall not, directly or indirectly, verbally or otherwise, publish, disseminate, disclose, or cause to be published. So, would the question then become, she caused her story to be published. Now, is that TashaK's fault? Had TashaK signed an NDA with Mr. Hart? Does TashaK talk about bloggers all the time and celebrities and politicians and all kinds of people she talks about on her platform? But the one big sticking point, we know it's that number one. That has to be proven. Extortion. $250,000. It was alleged. It was said in this complaint that a representative of TashaK, or we will say Keve Studios, LLC, contacted a representative from the Hart camp, told that person about this interview and how it could allegedly be damaging. Either it's going to be published, or if you pay $250,000, this is all alleged, the attorneys wrote it as a ransom, and he subsequently contacted police authorities. I wonder when that was allegedly to have been done. This conversation between this representative. And who might that be? Let me keep going. B. Recipient agrees that the confidential information is to be considered confidential and proprietary to the protected parties, and recipient shall hold the same in confidence, shall not use the confidential information other than for the purposes of its business with the protected parties, and shall disclose it only to its officers, directors, or employees with a specific need. So, qualifier there, specific need to know. Zenobia says, I have not heard a loophole yet. So, on a need to know basis here, recipient will not disclose, publish, or otherwise reveal any of the confidential information received from the protected parties to third parties, except with the specific prior written authorization of one or more of the protected parties. Did she receive some type of authorization? C. Confidential information furnished in tangible form shall not be duplicated by recipient except for the purposes of this agreement, upon the request of the owner. Ooh. Confidential information furnished in tangible form shall not be duplicated by the recipient except for purposes of this agreement. Upon the request of the owner, recipient shall return all confidential information received in written or tangible form, including copies or reproductions of any other media containing such confidential information, within 10 days of such request. So it has to be requested. Any documents or other media developed by the recipient containing confidential information must be destroyed by recipient. And recipient shall provide a written certificate to owner regarding destruction within 10 days thereof or thereafter. D. Confidential information may not be removed from the premises without written permission or electronically submitted outside of the owner, including through social media. Removal without written authorization or use in social media is grounds for immediate termination without notice. Without limiting the foregoing, recipient shall respect and maintain the confidentiality of all discussions, deliberations, and any other information generated in connection with owner, and recipient will not post or share information or photos about discussions or business related matters or activities or online in any form, including but not limited to email, websites, message boards, blogs, or social networking websites. Recipient will not share any client personal information, content, or graphics on any social media. Did someone say she's done? Who said that? I'm kind of looking at the chat. Zenobia says she is crispy done. And Cat Williams is your favorite. Swirl Gang, good morning says, or afternoon says, so I'm, in other words, she feels she didn't breach the NDA because all of the things she said, Kevin already said publicly. So, in other words, she feels that way, you say. Now, I can't be certain of what Kevin Hart said that she repeated and or said in the interview, albeit in the contract. It seems like that would even be covered too. And that the clause where it talks about whether it's known to be confidential or not, this is my words, that it should be covered or might be covered there. Even if he said it publicly, this is my response. Shouldn't she have known, question, that was confidential? Even though it was in public, you signed an NDA, and you were not to repeat this, even though I said it publicly. No. Because I'm Kevin Hart, and I decide. I gave you that information, and you disseminated it. I'm just, Remember, contractual breach, that's part of the 5. They are alleging or saying in this complaint. Let me see where I'm at. Page 13, exhibit. at the bottom. So let me go right back all the way to the top. And the complaint spells it out in the beginning. Let's uncover that. 1. Civil extortion. 2. Breach of contract. 3. Intentional interference with contractual relations. I can tell you 1 and 3 is for the defendant, TashaK. She was included in 1 and 3. 4. Invasion of privacy, public disclosure of private facts. So his attorneys are complaining of this. And 5, defamation. So that's all this private, this was privacy. And we're talking about, or someone asked, well, what if he said it in public? He said it in public. What do you mean he said it in public? What do you mean I said it in public? No, I understand. Swirl Gang says, I was just explaining that's the loophole she thinks she has. Mm-hmm. And as we're going through it, do you see that as a loophole, and or do you see a loophole thus far in this confidentiality agreement? Vicky says, that's like 45 saying he has immunity. Not true. Not true. Not true. E. Recipient shall not utilize or deal directly or indirectly, interfere with, directly or indirectly, circumvent or attempt to circumvent, avoid, bypass, or obviate owner or owner's interest directly or indirectly, in whole or in part, through agents, intermediaries, or otherwise, with respect to owners, customers, clients, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, consultants, brokers, employees, for any reason or purpose whatsoever, including without limitation to change, increase, decrease, or avoid directly or indirectly payment for or of establish or to be established fees, commissions, or continuance of pre-established relationships, or intervene in non-contracted relationships with manufacturers or suppliers, or initiate, buy, or sell relationships, or transactional relationships that bypass owner with any corporation, producer, owner, supplier, buyer, or individual use, revealed or introduced by owner to obligated party or vice versa, in connection with any ongoing or future transaction. So we are still reading from, this is, let's see. Okay. Not too much more of this. This is an important one to cover. Confidentiality agreement. This is what Miesha Shakes signed. This is what is in question, in play, as part of this lawsuit. Breach of contract. 3, term. The obligations of recipient herein shall commence on the effective day, and recipient's non-disclosure and other obligations hereunder shall continue in full force and effect indefinitely. Did y'all see that? I just saw it. I'm just reading it. Shall continue in full force and effect indefinitely? Is that real? Recipient's obligation not to disclose shall not be affected by bankruptcy, receivership, assignment, attachment, or seizure procedures, whether initiated by or against recipient, nor by the rejection of any agreement between owner and recipient, by a trustee of the recipient in bankruptcy, or by recipient as a debtor in possession, or the equivalent of any of the foregoing under local law. Other information. Recipient shall have no obligation under this agreement with respect to confidential information which is or becomes publicly available without breach of this agreement. So there's the talk of breach. Let me go over that. Recipient shall have no obligation, under this agreement with respect to confidential information, no obligation, which is or becomes publicly available without breach of this agreement by recipient. Is rightfully received by recipient without obligations of confidentiality, or is developed by recipient without breach of this agreement, provided, however, such confidential information shall not be disclosed until 30 days after written notice of intent to disclose is given to owner along with the asserted grounds for disclosure. There's a lot in that one to unpack. There's a lot. I wonder, is there something in number 4 so far? Is there something in there that caused me to pause? I think it's the phrase, shall have no obligation under this agreement. Caused me to pause with respect to the confidential information. Which is or becomes publicly available. Okay. So, in other words, if somebody else would have made it available? Because the recipient is saying without breach of this agreement by recipient is rightfully received by recipient without obligations of confidentiality. I don't know. That one kind of like, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But there's something in number 4 so far that is unclear. By signing this agreement, the recipient affirms that recipient will protect all confidential information while engaged by the owner and after the recipient has completed all services and obligations for the owner. Now, does that contradict something above? Like forever and always? This says, will protect confidential information while engaged by the owner and after the recipient has completed all services and obligation. Is there something there? This comes after? She was no longer part of this enterprise for Mr. Hart or Mr. Hart's enterprise? Is that a loophole? Is that the understanding that you are receiving from that? 5. Property rights. Recipient acknowledges that the protected parties have substantial and valuable property rights and other proprietary interests in the possession, ownership, and use of the confidential information. In the event recipient acquires, creates, or obtains any materials by virtue of recipient's access to confidential information, then recipient agrees and acknowledges that said material shall also be considered confidential information that shall be owned solely by owner. 6. No license. Nothing contained herein shall be construed as granting or conferring any rights by license or otherwise in any confidential information. It is understood and agreed that neither party solicits any change in the organization, business practice, service, or products of the other party, and that the disclosure of confidential information shall not be construed as evidencing any intent by a party to purchase any products or services of the other party, nor as an encouragement to expend funds in development of research efforts. Confidential information may pertain to prospective or unannounced products. Recipient agrees not to use any confidential information as a basis upon which to develop or have a third party develop a competing or similar product. C. No pub- or 7. No publicity. Recipient agrees not to disclose its participation in this undertaking. Really? No publicity. Recipient agrees not to disclose its participation in this undertaking, the existence or terms and conditions of the agreement, or the fact that discussions are being held with owner. So when asked, I believe it was by TashaK, about an NDA, and I'm going to check this once more, okay? I wonder. So, was she not to disclose? Not to disclose participation. Huh. Not sure. 8. Governing law and equitable relief. This agreement shall be governed and construed in accordance with the laws of the United States and the state of California, and recipient consist to the exclusive jurisdiction of the state court and U.S. federal courts located there for any dispute arising out of this agreement. Recipient agrees that In the event of any breach or threatened breach by recipient, owner may obtain, in addition to any other legal remedies which may be available, such equitable relief as may be necessary to protect owner against any such breach or threatened breach. No assignment. 9. Recipient may not assign this agreement or any interest herein without owner's express prior written consent. 10. Severability. If any term of this agreement is held by a court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid or unenforceable, then this agreement, including all of the remaining terms, will remain in force and effect as if such invalid or unenforceable term had never been included. 11. Notices. Any notice required by this agreement or given in connection with it shall be in writing and shall be given to the appropriate party by personal delivery or by certified mail, postage prepaid, or recognized overnight delivery services. If to owner, then the address is given. Heartbeat Productions, 15 or 15,910 Ventura Boulevard, Suite 1505, Encino, California. Attention, Pookie, Wigington. If to recipient, then Miesha Shakes. And I'm looking, that looks printed. 12. No implied waiver. Either party's failure to insist in any one or more instances upon strict performance by the other party or any of the terms of this agreement shall not be construed as a waiver of any continuing or subsequent failure to perform or delay in performance of any term hereof. 13. Headings. Headings used in this agreement are provided for convenience only and shall not be used to construe meaning or intent. 14. Final agreement. This agreement terminates and supersedes all prior understandings or agreements on the subject matter hereof. This agreement may be modified only by a further writing that is duly executed by both parties. 15. Counterparts. This agreement may be executed in counterparts when each party has signed and delivered at least one such counterpart to each of the other party. Each counterpart shall be deemed an original, and all counterparts taken together shall constitute one and the same agreement, which shall be binding and effective as to all parties. This agreement may be executed via facsimile signatures, which shall have the same force and effect as if they were original signatures. In witness whereof, the parties have executed this agreement as of the date first above written. Still on Exhibit A, page 15, and you can see Heartbeat Productions, docu-signed by an authorized signatory, And then let's remove this. Name Miesha Shakes with her signature. It was DocuSign, okay, electronic signature. Made effect August 8th, 2017. Then comes a mutual release and non-disclosure agreement. So you got the confidentiality, and now it's the NDA. Followed by, I've read the cease and desist. So the only one remaining to review is the NDA. Mutual release and non-disclosure agreement. Let me take a break for a moment, and let's just put on some music. I'll be right back, okay? It is 1:36. So, of what I've read thus far, the complaint part 2, what do you think about the confidentiality agreement? And did you find so far any area that you think could be a loophole in that agreement? What do you think? I know, Pookie and them. When I first saw the name, Wingington, so the Pookie, at first when I looked at it, I said, I know it's Pookie, but is it Pookie? But then I had to remember Kevin Hart is a comedian. So, yeah. So for him to have another affiliate or whatever, kind of with Pookie and them, I guess it makes sense. And Wingington, whoever Wingington, are they winging it? I don't know. It's kind of funny. Swirl Gang seems to think breach for sure. Stick a fork in her. She's done. It seems like an airtight. The way it was written with so many like closures on every end, top, bottom, left and right. Can anything, be made outside of, what's said in that contract? Can anything be misunderstood or interpreted as something different? This will be very interesting to see or listen to an attorney on the other side, on the defense side. Break this down, ask questions. I wonder if it goes that far, will Kevin Hart take the stand? Will he take the stand? And will we find out? Will we find out who is Pookie? Who is Pookie and them? Will Pookie and them come and take the stand? Because certainly somebody, if you watch the Johnny Depp trial, there were so many instances when even the judge had a little smirk and he had to constrain the court with his gavel because there was a little bit of laughter when Johnny took the stand. So if Kevin Hart takes the stand, if Kevin Hart just walks up to the stand, it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny. Come on, guys. Come on. As much as Kevin and Pookie Nim are going to want to make this serious, and it is, there will be so much laughter in the peanut gallery. How can you imagine when Kevin Hart walks up to the stand, okay, and has to look up to the judge? That will be a made-for-TV moment and or movie. Come on. This is a movie made for Kevin Hart. Now, who will play? Who is gonna play Kevin Hart in this movie? And who is gonna be Pookie and them? Come on. He is a comedian, so you've got to allow me room, when I'm giving my commentary. Oh my goodness. I'm just wondering aloud. Yes, remind you. Swirl Gang says of Bebe's kids. Vicky says the judge will say, "Who the hell is Bookie? Are you joking?" You hit it right on the. Are you joking? Are you kidding? Wait until the defendants get a hold of Pookie and them. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this group of Pookie and them? Maybe they're lawyers, of course. They are going to be dressed in blue and white and, gray and all of these pinstripe suits and whatever you might imagine whenever this trial is actualized. Maybe it'll be summertime. Maybe there will be a female lawyer who steps out in her white or cream white pantsuit. Remember? Johnny's lawyer? I can't even remember her name now, but at the time when she stood up and came to cross in that white cream suit, Zenobia says Cat Williams with dark hue makeup. Oh my God. This material was made for Cat Williams. This material was made for Cat Williams. He's gonna have too much fun with this, okay? So I had hoped to end by 2:00, all right? So we've got enough material just kind of from this morning to try and digest, to try to make sense of without me introducing yet the third and final part of this, Exhibit B. And that would be the non-disclosure agreement and mutual release, or mutual release and non-disclosure. So, because of that, I am going to leave that for tonight, okay? And take a break, a 2-hour break before coming back. I have a premiere that is scheduled. Let me just make sure of it. Hang on. Let's see. I had hoped to play my short. Why? It's on YouTube. Hang on. Why? I'm looking for the premiere. Make sure I've got the right video pulled up as a premiere. It should be the complaint part 1, just the complaint that I reviewed last night. Kevin Hart, Miesha Shakes, TashaK, the complaint part 1, yes, is scheduled to premiere at 4 o'clock today. 29th, it's set. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to come back out, take a look at some of your comments. And let's see what you have to say as we wrap up this broadcast. Vicky Black says, great show. Unwine with Teddy. Great commentary. Good day. Shout out to all my other bears. Biggest bear hugs go out to the Grizzlies always. Please hit the like on your way out. If there were questions, comments that you didn't want to put in the chat, please email us at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Okay. Okay. Interesting. You know what? I'm going to read this, or I'm going to tell you what someone is saying. I'm not going to read it. But I am going to tell you, let me see. We were supposed to put up this. So, what is going on now? I am checking my email. Let's remove this banner. I am checking my email. And I received a very interesting one. Yes. So, before 2 o'clock, let me just tell you. Someone wrote to me. And part of what they are saying or expressing is their reason, and they're explaining why they are canceling their membership. Yes, I said it. Wouldn't you like to know? Without me giving any information. This is kind of interesting as part of their explanation. Is there anyone out there that would like to hear one of the rationale for them canceling their membership? A person can cancel. You can just stop because of anything. You just don't want to be a member anymore. That you simply do not want to be a member anymore. This one is kind of is interesting as part of their explanation. So they make it a separate paragraph or sentence. They say this is my summary of it, but I'm going to read it this part. They say that I'm competing to be like the younger content creators. That I'm playing a rap music more. And that it's a battle. And the way that they are describing this, that it's confusing. My story. It's interesting that they speak about subscribers, the number of subscribers that I have, and whether or not they have been tuning in. So let me say this. They put the number, of subscribers that we have. The 3,000 plus. Just say 3,000. And they haven't, this 3,000 has not been tuning in. Shall I remind anyone? Somebody has, let's say, 25,000 subscribers. And theirs haven't been tuning in either. I had to chuckle because that would be applicable to a number of content creators. And while I don't have 3,000 tuning in, they don't have 25,000 tuning in either. But I appreciate, let me just say this to the person who sent an email in all sincerity. As a content creator, I appreciate that you took the time to express, why you would like to cancel, or not, you don't have to ask permission, why you are canceling. And I take it, and, it's like I put it somewhere so I can think about it. I appreciate that you had the willingness and courage to express, your rationale. I appreciate that as a content creator. It's kind of like a company who says, sends out a survey and they don't want all fives. They want to know, has something changed in the product and why you are canceling your membership. That's, you see, I can look at it and learn from it. Yeah. One of the words that they use is weird. So this person wraps up their email, and in the last sentence, before they give their salutation, it's kind of weird. Okay. So I check my email. And that one grabbed my attention. Let me see if there's anything else that I'd like to share. Don't you just love when I check my emails? I never know. I never know. Really? Come on. Why? Now I'm looking at another email. Really? Okay. Let me just say this, and we'll put up our coffee cup. Where's my coffee cup? Let's put it up. It's up, and let's take this down. Or maybe I'll just put this up. Unwine with Teddy. Mm-hmm. Kevin Hart versus Miesha Shakes. TashaK, you see it there at the bottom. It's 2:00 plus 1 minute. Cherry on top says that email was definitely a maybe it's a reach, a read. It was something. Not that email is from an op, Pookie the bear. Oh, I'm sorry. Poking the bear. I saw Pookie and we were talking about Pookie and I thought maybe you were saying that was Pookie the bear. Okay. My bad. Poking the bear. Well, I have been on for 2 hours and 47 minutes, and it is Duckery Friday. So I'm allowed at least one at the end. And I did understand that email is definitely a reach that didn't quite get. Oh, you know what? How about that? Cherry on top says that email is definitely a reach that didn't quite make it. Now, I do not want to take the next 10 minutes and make some jokes, but I could. All right. We have other things that, we are going to reserve for tonight. If you choose to come. Yes, I have Pookie on the brains. That's exactly what happened, Zenobia. Exactly what happened. Pookie on the brain. All right. I think I'm going to end it right here. How about that? Where's the coffee cup? Where is the coffee cup? Right here. Yeah. Big bear hugs once more go out to all the grizzlies, even the golden ones. Okay. It's Duckery Friday. It's the afternoon. Go have lunch. Thank you so much. Please, as I was saying, email me. I appreciate every single one that I read this morning. Yeah. I hope even to the person that decided to, depart from their membership, that there was something in your time that you were able to takeaway. Yeah. As good and not weird. Okay. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Have a great afternoon. Keep your bare phones on.
I crave love and attention, but I keep everybody at a distance. If I build it, will y'all really come? About all these panties, but I really don't wear none. I like boys and I like girls, but I love my baby. Some may judge, but Emmanuel is still God within me. Yeah. I don't drink liquor, but it's something about a champagne toast. Still can't swim, but I sure could float. I rip the water parasite, but all the elements live rent free in my mind. Yeah. Booty. 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 Prove you right. Don't prove me wrong, prove you right. My word is bond, we don't spit no lies. A daughter of the sunshine, but every blue moon I come alive at night. I like lace and I like braids, but I love my metro. Edges laid from the east side, building on the west coast. My high tolerance for pain don't mean I'ma take you. All them fake followers ain't gon' like your pics. I rep the water bearer sign, but all the elements living free in my mind. Moody. 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 Oh, you big Moody. I crave love and attention, but I keep everybody at a distance. If I build it, will y'all really come? Bought all these panties, but I really don't wear none. I like boys and I like girls, but I love my baby. Some may judge, but Emmanuel is still God within me. Yeah. I don't drink liquor, but it's something about a champagne toast. Still can't swim, but I sure could float. I rep the water bearer side, but all the elements live rent free in my mind. Yeah.